Hey everyone, thanks so much for taking time out of your busy schedules and joining us for Easy as 1, 2, 3, Product Data Management as an Easy Task. My name is Diana Dietrich. I'm the Marketing Specialist here at Swoosh Technologies, and I will be your moderator for today. Just a little on Swoosh. For over 10 years, we've been a leading provider and partner of Siemens PLM software. We're dedicated in providing you the best support and software, including NX, Solid Edge, and Teamcenter, necessary to accelerate productivity in your workflow. Also, we pride ourselves in delivering process-based training solutions tailored to fit your company's needs. With our educational training services, our goal is to make you a leader in your field while staying ahead of the competition. Our presenter today is Application Engineer Sam Estrada. With over 18 years of experience in a variety of industries, Sam focuses on design, fabrication, and manufacturing. Today, he is a leading application engineer with Swoosh Technologies, aiming to accelerate industry design processes and increasing collaboration throughout your product lifecycle. Is it easier to start from scratch rather than reusing data that exists because it's simply easier than trying to find that information you're looking for? How effective is your team collaboration, especially when there's a great amount of data that goes into your project? Are you wasting more time than needed searching for your data? Today, Sam will discuss an easier approach to product data management, so that way you know your team is looking at the right information every time. If you have any questions, please feel free to add these into the questions box located on your GoToWebinar panel. Sam will have your questions answered during the Q&A portion taking place right after the presentation. All right, Sam, take it away.
All right, thanks, Diana. So what we're going to be covering today, I'm going to be talking to you about Teamcenter, and in particular a configuration that can be deployed fairly quickly called RapidStart. I'll show you a quick little live demo. Won't be too in-depth. I'll just kind of show you the interface, some of the CAD integration, and probably go into some of the Microsoft Word integration, kind of show you some functionality. Then we'll do some Q&A afterwards. Looking at Teamcenter, Teamcenter is has a very robust portfolio. It consists of many different apps, and Teamcenter out of the box is a highly customizable database that can be set up in your organization. There's a base level that Teamcenter deploys out with, and it's basically for PDM, product data management, and then branches off to other applications and grows with your needs with the needs of your organization, so you can add on different applications or requirements, manufacturing, quality, costings, things like that. The traditional Teamcenter installation is highly customizable, like I was saying earlier. It's tailored to your specific needs. Usually there's a lot of setup on customizing different applications, forms. There's process workflows that are customized as well, and is very thorough. And depending on the size of your organization and the resources available to you, you can tailor fit Teamcenter to your needs. Now, that may not be suitable for everybody, so that's why Teamcenter at Siemens has introduced a RapidStart pre-configured, ready-to-go, out-of-the-box Teamcenter. So it's the same functionality as Teamcenter. It's just that Siemens has taken the time and created a best business practice configuration to use with Teamcenter. So it still includes your base product data management, but it's pre-configured for MultiCAD use, document management. They have pre-created and set up some process management workflows for you, and they've also pre-configured some of the roles and some of the functionalities on user access on the Teamcenter side. So instead of having to go in there and customizing yourself, getting up and running, this pre-configured setting is pretty much an install into your system, and then after everything gets set up, you're pretty much ready to run as soon as the setup is complete. You'll get the base, you'll get access to product data management. That's what's up top. So design management, document management, BOMs, processes, and then as your needs grow, Teamcenter can expand with you. so you can add in some of the different modules. Even though you started off with a RapidStart configuration, it's a simple upgrade to go into what they call the rest of Teamcenter. We can just go in and convert your database over, and now you have full functionality. The deployment options are, we have two different deployment options depending on the situation there at your organization. We can install on your current or new infrastructure. So as long as you have a server running an OS Windows operating system 2008 or 2012, you have SQL, Oracle, you have your CAL licenses, we can install Teamcenter, we can install the database, we can install the the volume, the web app server, all there directly onto your machine. And then we can go ahead and install what we call the rich application client. That's the program that accesses the database, and that's how you do your work. You could also do the web. We'll install that. We also will install the CAD integrations on each workstation. That's how you can access the database, say from Solid Edge, SolidWorks, NX, CATIA, things like that. And we install that on your workstations there on site. This all depends, depending on your current infrastructure. You probably need to buy new servers, things like that. We size it up and we do an assessment, and then we present it to you before we go and deploy Teamcenter. And with the RapidStart, it's fairly quickly, it's a pretty simple process. Takes a couple of, it doesn't take us as long because there's no pre-configuration. We just go in, install it, get out, and then let you, show you, train you how to use the database, how to manage, how to do system admin checks, train your users, and then we help support you down the line, but pretty much the system is yours. Another deployment option that we have is deploying Teamcenter up on the cloud. And because RapidStart already comes pre-configured, usually the cloud deployment is much quicker than doing it on site, because then we can just spin up an environment that is usually on a snapshot. We have some pre-configured environments already. We installed RapidStart, we can spin these up fairly quickly. The other thing too is you don't have to have the infrastructure in place, so you don't need to spend the extra capital. We start up your own instance up on the cloud. We can scale your servers to your needs. We can put the latest Windows operating system, all the licenses using SQL. All those are available up on the cloud, so you just pay a monthly rate and you have access to the latest and greatest. We set up your VPN server. We could also set up a different server for optional vendor login or supplier login. It's totally secure, and the greatest thing is you only pay for what you used. So if you want the latest and greatest, biggest machine, we can go ahead and put that in. If you want to go ahead and scale back, we can do that as well. If things change, we can add more server space, take away server space, and then we can lock you in a good, pretty much a good rate to where it comes out cheaper than on the demand, but it's a great alternative to go to. All you have to do is have a good connection up to the net. We'll go ahead and manage your Teamcenter database. There's a service plan to where not only do we spin up your environment, but we also manage your database. We install patches, we look over your data, we back up your data, we do all the technical maintenance on your actual environment without you having to either invest or spend any money on your local IT. We take care of that for you. As well as, not only do we do the cloud deployment, but the client installations, we can do them over the web, or we can do them on site and send you the, set up your machines just like we would do on an on-site deployment. With the cloud environment, we have different options. We can go totally cloud. We can do hybrids of the cloud environment to where Teamcenter is managing data up in the cloud while all your data stays, say you have a file server, you don't want your data going onto the cloud, we can manage it that way, or different options. If you want some information, we can get you some pricing, things like that. But those are your two options. We can do either one. Cloud deployment's fairly exciting because it's faster, it's more economical, and then again, we can use us as a service and we can help manage all this stuff for you. So once you get Teamcenter up and running, and say we get you go with RapidStart. RapidStart is pre-configured out of the box with best business practices to address your CAD data. It's CAD agnostic, so we interface with many of the major CAD products out there, NX, Solid Edge, SolidWorks, AutoCAD. We have a direct integration. The RapidStart configuration is already set up to accept all those. The only thing we need to do is install the client-side connector. You get document management, which will allow you to manage your documents and tie them directly into your product, and we'll go into that in a little bit. And you get process management. Workflows are pre-configured, ready to go. You'll get an engineering change management pre-set up package coming out of RapidStart. The icons are already set up, the forms are set up for you, as well as the roles and the groups, and I'll kind of show you that during the demo. But all that is pre-configured, so we don't have to sit down and actually take the time and create all these. The groups and the roles are set up for you, so all you have to do is just plug in your users. So to get a little more in depth, let's take a look at a little bit of the MultiCAD management. Again, there's an integration for some of the major CAD products out there where you can do searches, you can open up files directly from your CAD system, open those up directly from a managed environment from Teamcenter. You can check them out, you can save them. Whenever you do save them, through the integration, there is a capability of generating a lightweight 3D JT file. A JT file is a ISO standard developed by Siemens. It's a 3D, think of it as a 3D PDF or a version of the 3D PDF. This one little universal file type will be able to load up inside the visualization tools inside Teamcenter. Anybody who has access to Teamcenter and is granted access could open up the model and interrogate it, do markups on the model, measure it, sectional views, a lot of different things without having to consume a CAD license. Whenever you do save a model coming out of the integration, all the data is saved with it. So there's a summary panel where you can go look up some of the metadata that was included. You can add extra metadata. There's a certain structure that is created, and we go to that later on in the presentation, but things are easy to find using either item numbers, descriptions, any metadata. You can search against that. But Teamcenter has a unique way of saving this directly out of the integration. So all you have to do is say inside your CAD package, save a file, save an assembly, save a part, save an assembly, and Teamcenter takes care of the rest of structuring and putting it all into a managed system. So your benefits come out of using Teamcenter with your CAD product is, one, the data is easy to find, regardless of what CAD system it came from. Again, you can mix and match Solid Edge, SolidWorks, NX. Teamcenter will manage all the CAD data regardless of where it came from. The JT model gives your organization the ability to collaborate freely using the having other people for them to have access to the 3D file is a step ahead of what anybody else is doing right now, because everybody gets to work off the same type of information that the engineer's on. The other solution area we'll look at is document management. Now, with the document management, there's a lot of documents that get created that follow around your product, and sometimes there's a big disconnect between the actual product data and the document development process. Usually when you're developing your product in CAD, they'll start building it, and usually the last thing gets done is probably any parts manuals, technical specs, anything done for marketing, and usually those kind of lag behind from what's going on in the engineering department because there's not really that much sharing. Also, those documents may get stuck in a file folder, may get stuck in a cabinet, put around somewhere. Some may get hoarded by purchasing. Some of them may get pushed over to other areas, and as the product changes, the documents don't keep up with the changes that are being made by engineering. So what Teamcenter does is it helps bridge that gap between the CAD design and the actual documentation. So if you have specification requirements, control plans, FEA analysis, test results, supplier contracts, Teamcenter will help you manage all the documents to help define that part or an assembly and keep it on the same level and track. As the product is developed through its life cycle, the documentation can keep up with it. Things are easily referenced within Teamcenter. We can create a quick reference link between part and the document. I can show you that here in the demo. It's fairly easy to do. Also, some of the roadblocks that you run into when you start going to a managed system is some people may be, reluctant to giving up, working inside Office or working inside Word. They don't want to go ahead and open up the rich client and start doing any database stuff in there because it's a new program they have to learn. It's just another roadblock that gets put up. Well, with the integration that's available with Office products, Teamcenter can embed itself directly into those familiar programs. So the people who are working with these documents can directly save their data into Teamcenter and then create the relationship back to the product. So it kind of keeps them within what they're used to, and they can still work in the same managed environment as everybody else does. That's one of the great, kind of tools that we can utilize within Teamcenter. So the benefit is that, one, all the documentation can keep up with that helps define the product is stored securely and managed in one single place. So so you won't have the situation where you have your CAD on one server and say your documents spread out through everybody's My Document folders on their computer. The documents will evolve with the product across the life cycle. They'll get tied in, so as soon as the product gets changed, there's a chance to where you can update any of the documentation that went with it, and then people get to stay within the program that they're actually used to and comfortable with. The next item we'll take a look at is process management, the pre-configured work roles and functionality. The pre-configured installation that comes with Teamcenter enables you to utilize a pre-configured workflows that have been made by Siemens utilizing some best practices. It allows you to track any changes for parts, subassemblies, any of those sort of products. It helps keep everybody on the same page. If you're releasing a product out for tooling, if a part's frozen, if it's released for manufacturing, it's released for production, these pre-configured workflows allow the products to move step by step by step and follow the same process over and over again, and captured within the system. It's built into where people can reuse this thing over and over again. It's set up once, everybody uses it, and by using the pre-configured workflows, you don't have to come up with these on your own. You can use exactly what comes out of the box using the RapidStart configuration and start running from day one. And that's a big time saver, because once you start developing some of these workflows, you can go in and spend a couple of months trying to figure out what all the processes are. You can use this as a backbone, start working with this. Later on, if you want to add to it, you can add to it and customize it. But it captures any manual process that you have now and digitizes it and uses the data within the database to create these automated flows that goes from person to person and gets status and gets parts released out. The other cool thing is that with the integration is that any workflow that's created within Teamcenter, there's an automatic email that gets sent out through Microsoft Office, through Outlook, and people will get notified, hey, you got a task waiting for you. People can sign off on work orders, sign off on workflows, sign off on work order processes, engineering change orders directly through Microsoft Office. They'll be able to see the packets as they come in, all the data that's related to it through either the rich client or Office, and get their tasks done and get their job done right there. So alleviating some of the bottlenecks that come with some of these manual processes, Teamcenter will help address those. Also, everybody stays on the same page because everybody's looking at the same data. As the data flows from process to process and person to person, everybody stays on the same page, and everybody can utilize the same information, and you don't run into like, well, how come it didn't get done? Where is it at? I was missing this piece of information. Everything is fully tracked. There's traceability. There's audits you can do with this. You can identify bottlenecks. The other most important thing that comes with this, with RapidStart, is the ability to utilize the built-in engineering change management. The RapidStart deployment they've gone in there and created an engineering change order icon and forms where you can actually pack in all the necessary data for, say, an engineering change, and then you send that through one of the pre-configured workflows to get approved or get a status assigned to it. But just by the creation of this setup here, the icon and the forms, is another real big plus of using the pre-configured RapidStart configuration, because We don't have to do that. You don't have to do that on your own. You don't have to wait for somebody to come up with it. It's already built into the system, and you can use it from day one. So with process management, the process is there all the time. Anytime you send something, let's say a change is made and you send an engineering change order, all the data is contained within the packet, and everybody will be able to visually, have access to the same data, and the change can be understood by everybody all at once. Also, nothing falls through the cracks at this point. Everybody knows who's part of the workflow. The data is going to hit everybody at the same time, and decisions can be made knowing that, one, everybody has the right information, and all the changes are fully documented, and you have full traceability using the workflow process and the process management available to you inside Teamcenter. So how does all this get done? I mean, we've talked about CAD management. We talked about document management, process workflows. Well, how does it all work within Teamcenter? Well, the first thing we need to take a look at is what kind of data defines your product. So if you think about, what makes up if you have a widget, what all helps define what makes that widget a widget? You could have quality documents. You could have your CAD model. You can have probably if it's an assembly, you can have EBOM. You have all these documents. So how does Teamcenter actually organize all these things? Well, Teamcenter is a product-centric database. So what Teamcenter does is it creates these containers. Top-level container is pretty much generic, and then you have some item revision containers. Teamcenter will grab all the data and appropriately sort it into each appropriate container that either you deem seem necessary, or what comes out of the box at a RapidStart automatically sorts the necessary data to go into each one of the containers. So as you can see here, anything that's pertinent to probably the generic product type can get stored under there. And if you look at the smaller containers, the item revision A and the revision B, the data that necessarily reflects that particular revision is stored directly underneath it. It's a relationship that's built. So if I go look for this product, if I do a search for the product inside Teamcenter, I'll be able to see all the data that's relevant to item revision B. I can look at all the data that's relevant to item revision A. The history will always be maintained. So as soon as I say I rev or make a new revision C, Teamcenter will grab all the information, so metadata, things like that, it's all stored in a form, and it'll automatically generate my new item revision C along with all my data. If I change any of that data, so say I go in and change the CAD file, that CAD file will only be relevant and unique to item revision C. The CAD file that's located with item revision B will not get touched. It'll be there forever until either A, it gets obsoleted, deleted, or so I guess obliterated from the database. But the history, all the information that's locked into item revision B will stay with item revision B. Any new data that's changed and revised will stay with item revision C. It's very powerful within Teamcenter because everything focuses around the product, and then it attaches all the data to it. So as you go searching for this, Teamcenter then becomes, your one single source of any type of data, a single source of information for all your users. So as users go in and start looking up, products inside the database, regardless of who they are, as they go searching for the database, they're able to find all the necessary data that's relevant to them. So if you're an engineer and I look up the product, I look up the widget, I'm able to find the CAD model, probably some cost roll-ups, any files that would pertain to engineering. If somebody in marketing looks up that product, there's the pre-configured roles and the groups that allow him to only either A, see what you allow him to, what we're allowing him to see. So in this instance, he's able to look at the visualization, probably some specs and some cost roll-ups, probably another picture, a couple of pictures because they're marketing. But the point is that they just look up that one product and they're able to see all the data that's relevant to it and the data that they have access to. So you could even be a supplier, a vendor, logging into the database. Using their credentials as a supplier, they're only allowed to see what you allow them to see, but they're able to look up that part and see all the relevant data. So by setting up the structure the way it is inside Teamcenter, everybody that goes in and looks for the product is able to find all the data that they need, all the relevant data they need to work with. So with that being said, let me show you right quick what this looks like inside the rich application client. Now there's different ways we can access the database. This one right here is called the rack. You can also access the database through a web server or a shop viewer. So if you had some kiosks that were placed around the shop, you could access Teamcenter through it. The shop floor viewer does have some access limitations because it's out in the shop and people are only able to see the latest revision of something, which is great. There's a web viewer that you can use inside your organization if you don't want to install this rich client everywhere. But this rich client's kind of the working GUI, the working program to access programs inside the database, or access data inside the database. It's kind of got a little Microsoft feel-ish to it. So if you notice, you recognize the nav pane over here on the left-hand side. I got my home tab. This is kind of, you can relate this to your desktop on your computer. You can copy you can copy over reference shortcuts that you go and, you know, if you search for data inside the database, you can copy and paste reference links over here in your home. Your summary, all these tabs over here, these are your display tabs. This kind of generates information that's anything I have selected in my home tab. My display tabs will show me any kind of information that I have selected over here. So if I select my mailbox, go to my summary, it's going to give me information about my mailbox. So if I want to go get some quick info, I select it in my home and I go manipulate each one of these display tabs to get more information. How quickly is it to search for anything inside the database? We have a quick search over here in our nav pane. I got an advanced search, but if I want to look for anything, I can quickly go in there and do a search. I can do a keyword search. It kind of works like Google. You can use keyword searches, wildcards. You can search against attributes. You can go back and get relevant data. Here you can see that product structure I was talking about earlier. I've got the main item on top. I got the first item revision here. This is all the data that's pertinent to this first item revision. I've got a draft file. I've got a PDF. I have a JT file. Now if I go to the visualization tools, I am able to see that file over here. So if I load up the viewer, click on my JT, I can actually see the 3D representation of it. If I want to look at the PDF, the viewer will automatically load the PDF file. And same thing with the draft. Other things, I have markup tools over here that I can utilize and I can edit this. Some of the things that are built in with the integration, I have an extra tab that's been pre-configured with RapidStart. It's a Where Use tab. With this Where Use tab, because this was saved through one of the integrations now, it could be Solid Edge, SolidWorks, NX, I can go ahead and find any assembly that's associated with this part. So if this part was a bolt or a nut, I probably have quite a big list of different assemblies. But I can use this tab, the specially built configured tab, and I can go ahead and find the assembly that this part's being used in and actually load up the entire assembly in a viewer. Look at the BOM view, so I can take a look at all the parts that are associated with that assembly. And I could also go ahead and generate a 3D view using those JT files and assemble the actual part. I could also hide parts from the view. I could also change some of the revision rules, but I can go ahead and interrogate it and mark up to some of the visualization stuff over here using the visualization tools. This is very powerful. Again, I'm not consuming a CAD license. If I wanted to go ahead and open up this part, I could. I can go ahead and open up inside Solid Edge. Anything, it's all tied back into here. But here I can get a quick preview. It's like, okay, if I need to make a change to this, this would affect, this one assembly. I can get a preview of it right here. And again, with the integration and everything, I could either double-click this data set here, would open up directly in Solid Edge. I could also go to Solid Edge and actually use some of the search tools available in Solid Edge. SolidWorks works the same way as well. I can search for that assembly. I can go and query the database. I could load it up. I could, from the actual interface or using the integration portion, I can see that I can check out files. I can see who else has the other data sets checked out. I can open up and edit files from here as well. I can also see that I get instant feedback from the database. So, you know, the instant feedback being this, the other instant feedback telling me whether the item has been released or not. I can revise directly from here as well. So if I wanted to create a new revision of the assembly, I can revise the entire assembly from my integration. You could see it change right over here. I went from item revision A to item revision B. What's happening inside Teamcenter? Teamcenter is copying that structure, making myself a new item revision or anything, copying over the necessary data. And I'll show you that here in a sec. So if I edit this yoke, I get instant feedback telling me, hey, this item has been released. You can save as or revise it. If I tell it I want to go ahead and revise it, I hit a couple of buttons, the integration takes care of the rest. It revises not only the part, it also revises the drawing as well. So it does all that for me, and then all I have left to do is just actually make a change to this. So in this instance, I'm going to move this up kind of like so. Close it out and go ahead and save everything back in. I could also do a where used from here and actually load up the draft file and go ahead and take a look at the changes that were made to it, because, you know, once you make a change to the part, oh, here's I always forget to run this as the admin when I do one of these things. So what we'll do is we'll refresh this off right here. There we go. So the minute I make the item revision inside Solid Edge, it'll automatically come in and create a new structure. So it grabbed all the data, made new reference data over here, and only changed what I changed inside Solid Edge. You can also see I get feedback from the CAD integration as well. You see these little symbols? It's telling me that somebody has it checked out. If I look over here in my summary tab, I could see who the last modifying user was, what time he checked it out at. I could email him, tell him, hey, I need access to this. If I was a system admin, I could go ahead and do some other things. But right now, right now, CAD guy has this open. Since I have it open, I have full access to this. So by doing that, I can go ahead and change this up. Anybody else would get a read-only and have to notify me from, you know, telling me, hey, you need to go ahead and relinquish your control of this. So you get the instant feedback between both the database and the CAD integration. If I wanted to go ahead and start my engineering process, my engineering change process, I have the items set up right here. I have the form filled out. The only thing I'd have to do is go ahead and attach the data, you know, can get sent through the workflow. That's easily done by right-clicking and copying reference links. So I can right-click and paste, and I have created a reference inside Teamcenter. If I wanted to grab an outside document, much the same way, I can import it in using the Teamcenter integration. I can save that directly into the Teamcenter, say from Word. Let's see, let's call this Word doc. I can save that into Teamcenter. I can go to the rich client. I can grab that Word doc, and if I wanted to create a reference link to that, I could simply come over here, copy it, or cut it, either one, and I could paste it over here in my reference data. And just by that, doing that copy paste, I can associate different data to different objects. I could create a new document, attach a document, say how I wanted to, you know, I want to go ahead and attach this document over here and have it fully connected to this item revision. Simple as copying and pasting. And because I'm an author now, this Word doc will always follow around this item revision, so these two are now referenced to each other. It's that easy. Copying and pasting different links. You can create those relationships just as easy. If I want to go take a look and say, oh, where's that thing being referenced at, I can go in there and see this Word document's associated with A, it's in my new stuff, it's part of my item revision B, and it's part of an ECO. It's that simple. If I wanted to go ahead and send this off to a pre-configured workflow, let me just show you that right quick. Pre-configured workflow they'll look like flow charts. They're pre-configured right here, so you can quickly follow, which step is next. If it goes to a human being or if it's a process going on in the background. But once you attach all the necessary data, you can send this to the workflow process, and you can see here all the targets, all the data follows it. Wherever it goes from person to person throughout the entire process, all the data is there. So with that quick little demo, I know we kind of went about a couple minutes over, but if we got any questions.
So we have several questions in the queue, and guys, just to let you know, if you do have any questions that you entered in the queue, or if you're in the process of entering them right now, all the questions will be going to Sam, and Sam will give you an answer, reach out to you by phone or by email in the next few days. So Sam, the first question that we have in our queue is, I'm using SolidWorks. Can I connect to Teamcenter within SolidWorks?
Yes, what you'll have inside SolidWorks is you'll have your own panel over there on the right-hand side of the screen. It's going to have its own Teamcenter icon. It'll have its own file, open, save as, and much like the Solid Edge integration, it'll have its own window. It'll have its own search bar, so you can look at your, through each one of the integrations, you'll get an exact copy of what's going on inside your home folder. So if you have, one folder, two folder, just like this, or if you have any reference links, say you went searching for some items and you pasted them there on your home, they'd be available directly through that interface, and you'd be able to search, open, edit, open up any part withdrawing, and directly from SolidWorks in that instance.
Okay, second question we have in our queue is, what database will I have to have in place?
Okay, like I was saying before, Teamcenter works off of a SQL database, but it can also work off of an Oracle database. So SQL 2008, 2012, preferably 2008, just because R2, just from past experiences. But I mean, 2012 is coming along fairly well. The cloud environment is great for that because we can bounce back and forth between the two. If we set one up with, we can set you one up with 2008, or we can set you one up with 2012, and the price difference between actually buying the whole thing is quite a bit less if you go with the cloud.
We have time for one final question. Is it compatible?
Yes, Teamcenter directly connects to most of the major ERPs out there. If it doesn't, send me an email on what ERP system you're using, and we'll check on the integration. But Teamcenter generally pushes data out via XML. So if there are bomb structures mainly if there's any processes and anything like any data that needs to come out of Teamcenter and feed into an ERP system, we do it via XML, and that way you have the latest and greatest going on inside the ERP, because Teamcenter does product data management, product lifecycle management, and your ERP system does costing, does quite a few different things that are purely dedicated to ERP. So Teamcenter has a lot of great connectors that go out there to some of the major products again, and then mainly it pushes the stuff out, pushes data out via XML.
All right, thanks, Sam. So unfortunately, we are out of time for the day, but should questions arise post-session, or if you're looking to further understand the program tool, please feel free to reach out to us. If you have questions about utilizing Teamcenter, RapidStart, or would like to learn more about the feature or get a better understanding of the program tool, please feel free to reach out to Sam by phone or by email. He's more than happy to help. Or if you need to get a hold of us for general information, or say, you want some Teamcenter training, please reach out to your Swoosh sales representative. If you don't have a Swoosh rep, reach out to me, Diana, and I'll get you in touch with our sales team here at Swoosh. So again, thanks so much for attending our webinar session today. We hope you have a great rest of the week. And thanks so much, Sam. Bye.
All right, thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.